Welcome, welcome, and good afternoon. I am Veronica Jones, Vice Chairwoman and County Commissioner at Large. Welcome to our joint County of Fayetteville Cumberland County Liaison Committee meeting. On this particular board, we are here at the Cumberland County Roswell Courtroom in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Today's date is Monday, June 16th, and it is 12:05 p.m. Board members for this particular committee are as follows: myself, as well as our co-chair, Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Jensen, City of Fayetteville, Chairman Kirk Deviere, Board of Commissioners for Fayetteville, for Cumberland County, Mayor Mitch Colvin, City of Fayetteville, Commissioner Pavan Patel, Cumberland County, and also we have City Council Member Courtney Banks McLaughlin, the Mayor Mitch Colvin, as well as City Councilwoman Courtney Banks McLaughlin. They are out of town on business, so they do give their regards. At this time, we will continue with our meeting, and I will ask for our Pledge of Allegiance as well as our invocation to be held by Chairman Kirk Deviere. All those that can stand, please do so at this time.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day that you provide us today. Please bless and guide this meeting today. Let us continue to do the work of the people of this community for their betterment. Please bless over our first responders and military members who may be in harm's way today. Please bless them and watch over them. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And at this time, we do have some individuals that don't want to make it, so I would ask for all elected officials, city council members, if you could fill these seats in, please. Also, I see there's a town manager, if he could sit up here as well. Brenda Jackson, if you could come up here, please. Lead head people of the county and city, if you were here, if you could just fill in these seats, we would appreciate it.
Madam Vice Chair, point of personal privilege, if I could, ma'am?
Yes.
I just want to make sure so we don't upset Spring Lake or any other municipalities. Hope Mills is here as a guest. They're not part of the liaison committee. This is a Fayetteville Cumberland County committee that was established. Just want to make sure we don't upset any of our municipalities. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And we will continue on the agenda. Mayor Greer, are there any changes at this time? I ask if there are any changes to the agenda.
No, there are no changes to the agenda, Vice Chairwoman Jones.
Thank you. Call for a motion for approval of this agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Call for a second.
Second.
Motion's been approved at this time. Okay, today's agenda topic, we are very concerned, of course, no doubt, the whole purpose of these meetings is for a healthy quality of life. We understand, just for a refresher for those listening here, when we started these meetings, we wanted to make sure that the city and the county came together for a better quality of life, different categories such as health and wellness, such as public safety, such as that of also economic development, and also such as that of making sure that any other topic areas, there are many that we covered, to see about bringing resource and information to our county and to also, no doubt, our city, and to make sure that we continue with that. Today, we have a guest. We know that it's summertime, in lieu of things that have been happening both on the Fayetteville City side of things as well as throughout Cumberland County. We hear a lot about unfortunate things that go on with our youth, but it's time to also make sure that we understand there are some positive resources. So it's my pleasure today that we do have individuals from the JPPC, which is the Juvenile Counsel Prevention Council. They will be discussing some programs, who and what they are about. Also, as we know, no doubt, that there is a crisis when it comes to food insecurities. So we need to make sure that with the summer coming up, that we make sure that available resources are being known. So it's our pleasure today that we also have someone from the Pathway Second Harvest Food Bank to discuss some of the services that they provide for Fayetteville and Cumberland County. And we also have someone, again, as I stated, with our youth, our next generation, employment, economic development. It starts with them. We do have someone here that will be speaking from Mid-Carolina. She will be discussing some positive opportunities for job opportunities for our youth. With that being said, we will get started. Action Pathway Second Harvest Food Bank of Southern Eastern North Carolina. The director, David Griffin, one of their directors for the food bank. If we could have him please come to the podium and give your presentation about your services, who and what you all do, and we greatly appreciate you being here today.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's always good to be here to talk about a subject that's very passionate to my heart. Hunger relief has always been something since growing up in a little small town in rural South Carolina that's really touched me, and making sure that those that don't have the assistance understand that there's someone out there that cares. So first, who are we? We are the Action Pathway Second Harvest Food Bank of Southeast North Carolina. Our CEO is Mr. Lonnie Ballard. Action Pathways is much more than the food bank. It has Head Start, it has the Weatherization Program, it has the Spouse Self-Sufficiency, and it's been a staple in this community since 1964. So we are standing on the shoulders of giants who has helped us do the service that we do. The food bank is also a member of Feeding America. Feeding America is the largest domestic hunger organization in the United States of America. It has 200 food banks in all 50 states and in Puerto Rico. We are one of 7 that covers Southeast North Carolina. We have a 7-county service area of Bladen, Cumberland, Duplin, Harnett, Hope, Robertson, and Sampson County. Our main mission is to end our jobs and end hunger. Hunger relief is what we try to do. We do that through a network of member agencies, nonprofits that come pick up directly from us. We also have distributions, but mainly is through our 180 plus nonprofits that pick up food from the food bank. And in 2024, we did over 16 million pounds in doing so. And those 16 million pounds went out in different ways. We did it through our backpack program, where we serve here in Cumberland County about 10,000 backpacks every school year to the students that we serve. And we do it through our senior program, where we normally serve about 1,800 seniors monthly right here in Cumberland County. And all together in Cumberland County, we do about 5.2 million pounds right here in the county. And if you equate that to economic savings for the clients that we serve, we're talking about over $10 million going right back into the pocket of those that we're trying to serve. And so that goes a long way into making sure their lives or living the way they want to be. We also have other program like the Emergency Food Assistance Program. We call it TFAP. TFAP is a program where through the federal government, we get food ins like the government cheese, the commodities, the different things of that nature. And we go out and we give it out to I think a host of about 21 agencies in Cumberland County, altogether about 52 agencies in our 7-county region, 5 counties that we actually cover. And in doing so, TFAP represents about 6.3 million pounds that we give out to the communities that we serve. And these communities, as we look at our numbers across the board in food insecurity, we see that it's high across the board. The state of North Carolina has about 1.7, as Feed America did a map the meal gap. It had about 1.7 individuals and families that are food insecure. And that's about 15% for in North Carolina. Well, we have a 17.8% food insecurity right here in Cumberland County. And that's overall. Then they went back and they looked at how it looks with our kids, the future, what we try to hold. And it's about 480,000 in North Carolina that are in need of assistance. Right here in Cumberland County, there's 60,000 kids that will go home today and don't have a meal. They'll go home tonight. And so that's about 27.5%. So the need is great right here in Cumberland County. and where we try to serve those that we are trying to assist. And we do that by going out and to either purchasing food from vendors. For every $1, we can provide 5 meals. That's our motto. And we purchase food, or we get donated food. Every grocery store that you see, that you go to, they donate to a food bank agency. The food bank is connected with them, and we will go and get them to bring food back to our partners. So make sure that food is going to that community where people stay. We do serve people individually and directly at times. We have gone to the Crown Coliseum. Thank you for the county for allowing us to use the facility. And we have served over 1,533 individuals in one day. And if you've ever been there and seen the line of cars, you'll understand there's a need out here. There's a need for individuals and families to really understand that their community cares. And it's great to be in front of you and to share you about the food bank. And I encourage you, if you haven't been down to a distribution, if you haven't been down to help out a fellow family member or that's struggling, come help us. Because every day we're trying to serve our community. Every day we're trying to ensure that when I always talk about David, James, and Sam, that someone like myself could be standing before you. I grew up and I had parents who, and there's one story, and I was sitting at the table with them, and I said, why do we have to eat eggs, sausages, and molasses every morning? Why are we eating this every day? And the look on my parents' face showed the pain, the anguish that they had. Eggs were cheap. They went to the local egg house, chicken house. Molasses was, come on, it wouldn't cost them the money, and that was all they could afford. So many of our families today, you spring forward to 2025, are having the same issues. They're having the same things they're trying to provide for their families, and then you all in this room can help. You all in this room can ensure that a child that could be the president of the United States one day, or the president of the local college, or who going to cure cancer, is not left behind. Because without you all, we couldn't do what we do. So the food bank over the summer is going to be doing a summer feeding program. We're going to be working with local schools, county schools, target about 800 backpacks to local students that are going without. We're going to continue our normal distribution of getting food out to our 180 agencies and things of that nature to ensure that thing called hunger relief is taken care of. And before I close, I want to say thank you for the opportunity, Ms. Jones, for having me up here and the committee. Because hunger relief is something that we live every day. You might not think it affects your life, but when you walk out, it might be someone in the next car who's having a bad day, or someone had a kid at your school, or a grandmother who's eating dog food that needs your assistance. And what you do is very valuable to them in their lives that they go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. And just before you leave, I would just like the opportunity for questions to be asked by this committee first, and then open to other individuals, not the public, but of course that of any other leaders here with us today. Any questions from the committee? Does anyone else have any questions?
I have one.
Councilman Thompson.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Chair. David, great seeing you again. Great presentation. I think most of us seen this coming when our current administration, first thing they cut was USAID and Feeding America. Can you tell us the dollar figure on how that affected your company? A lot of people shouldn't know that the Second Harvest Food Bank distributes this to all the food banks across the entire county. How did the dollar figure affect you, and when did it start affecting you?
Well, we know that the Emergency Food Assistance Program is down about 40% as far as food that comes in. So that affects and we serve around 88,000 individuals and families monthly. So when you take 40% of the food away, that means you're taking 40% of what we can give to those families and things of that nature. I know one program, the LRPA program, left, and that was about 1.3 million. That's not coming back.
Right.
So that's going to be a deficit for our to go out and fundraise and things of that nature, because a lot of people don't understand. We don't get all our money from federal government. We have to go out and fundraise for dollars. But anything that we can do, we try to go out and handle. The LFPA program was very important, not just for the food bank, for our local farmers. Bunchberger Farm, we bought food from them all the time. From Mary Bless and Godwin, some other people that we actually purchase produce to. And that's helped them the whole way in the community that we serve. And so when you lose 1.3 million pounds of food, of dollars, and you have to cut back on how you serve those that you're trying to serve. And it's heartbreaking for me and heartbreaking for anyone if we have to say no to a family that comes down. But we do everything that we can to make sure that we serve everyone that comes to our doors.
Thank you for that, sir. This is not a question, just a statement, because most people here know that my wife works at a food bank, and I think the program is that you can only come certain times during the month. Well, there's been an uptick that some try to come in more than that because food insecurities is prevalent in their lives. Is there any way that you could probably change the policy that they can come more often since we're not giving out as much food as we did in the past?
Well, we try to let each one of our individual food pantries decide their own policy per se, but we make sure that they go. What we try to do is we try to use other resources to get food to them. For instance, we have a SNAP outreach person at our facility. They have done over 180 SNAP applications themselves, and they go out there to make sure that we can bring food and money into a household to supplement whatever's going on. Because we don't look at it as giving anybody a hand out. We look at it giving everybody a hand up.
Amen.
And because, like I said, growing up in South Carolina and growing up with a father who couldn't read and a mother who had 8th grade education, understanding that they're doing everything they can to provide for that family. Understand that they want to work $5.35 an hour, that's some age a little bit, minimum wage. That is really just trying to make ends meet. So it's not about they just want to take or what it is. They just want something to help out and raise their kids so they can stand before you like I'm doing today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have a question from Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Jensen.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So I have a question for, I want to make sure that I'm understanding right and that the audience says, how many counties are involved in this? Is this just Cumberland County that we're talking about, or are there counties all over? And who are those counties?
Well, we're part of Feed America. So Feed America covers the nation. Right. We have, in North Carolina, there's 7 food banks that cover over 100. We cover 7
okay.
right here in Southeast North Carolina.
Okay.
And they are Bladen, Cumberland, Duplin, Harnett, Hope, Robeson, and Sampson County. Now, we do have our agencies in Scotland County, but they're technically not our area, but we cover that as well. And Cumberland County, by far, is the most pounds we do. It's about 5.2 million every year pounds that we put into this county itself.
Okay. So, and then my next question is, and you brought up an interesting point, and so you said, you made a great valid point about the mom that is working 2 or 3 jobs and trying to, so is it easy for her to be able to get the food? Because sometimes they get so busy that, you're just trying to get through the day. So is there something that we can do to help them be able to get it? Am I making any sense to that?
I understand where you're coming from.
Because they're waking up in the morning, getting their kids off to school, going to work, picking the kids up, or going to the second job. Where is the time to get the food?
And then you might have to throw the transportation barrier. They might not have the car to take you to work. They might take the bus line.
Is that where we're seeing the hardest
the heart is there, and a lot of our rural areas, and I know everybody thinks it's Fayetteville as a city, but outside of Fayetteville, there's rural areas, and sometimes they have transportation issues to get to the sites. What we try to do is we partner with partner agencies that sometimes deliver or give those concrete dates on when stuff is going to be, because time is effort for them. If I'm saying you're going to be open X, Y, Z, and I know I'll have a lot of time, and I come out to your place and you're not open, then you just wasted a whole day of my time trying to get you some food. So we try to make sure we have a schedule when we're going to be doing at certain places. We are always monitoring our member agencies to make sure they are doing the right things. We don't want anyone coming to our agencies or anywhere that they feel they have to be part of the church or they have to give money or anything. They want to go to a place where they can get the food.
So consistency is
Yes.
very important for
Yes.
that single mom that knows she has to be there that day and it needs
Yes.
to be open.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I have a question before you leave and we go on to our next guest, and thank you for this information. Just a few things. Number one, if you could make sure, I know that you mentioned about Cumberland County and that program, is that something that families have to sign up for? Can you just elaborate a little bit about the process, procedure? Has that already started, number one? Is that just in certain schools? Or can you talk a little bit more about that? You were stating that you were doing something at the school system or in partnership with the school system?
It's a partnership we have where we don't actually get the individuals ourselves.
Okay.
We'll partner with the school and say they'll tell us a number, and we'll say that we can actually serve that number or not. For instance, 2 years ago we was doing about 3,000. So now we're doing 800, and because the weight's going down, the pound is going down. So it depends on what the school has and what we have in stock, as far as donated food and things of that nature. Because our number one thing we're trying to do is get into our member agencies, because they're running that community to give to those individuals and families. There's nothing like knowing someone, you know Joe, he comes to your door every day. And we want to make sure that agency, they know him and know what he's going through to get him food and whatever he needs. So they probably reach out to our programs manager, Tashima Pride, and she can direct them to where they need to go to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I would like to also mention that we do have Ms. Courtney McLaughlin-Banks. She is a city councilwoman that's a part of this particular committee, and I appreciate that. I've been informed that she is joining us on Zoom, and we do appreciate that. And another question that I have, because again, we want to make sure, just as we work, and we've been making an intentional point to work not just with Fayetteville, but we understand the importance of Hope Mills, which is why I had one of the leaders from Hope Mills to come here, as well as Spring Lake and Wade. We've been making sure to work with those leaders outside in the smaller municipalities, because we do understand that, no doubt a lot of them work here in Cumberland County, work for the city in Fayetteville. And not only that, but to be honest, we have parts of Cumberland County that are in Hope Mills and that are, in Grays Creek and that are in Spring Lake. As me being the large member, I have to be mindful of my folks that's a part of Cumberland County too. So with that being said, can you just tell us some of the locations in this area? Of course, no doubt, Cumberland County in the inner area, but do you all have locations in Spring Lake? Because that's some of those parts are part of Cumberland County also as Hope Mills. Are there areas that you all will be, since that's some parts of Spring Lake and Hope Mills are a part of
We have member
Cumberland
agencies
County?
throughout that serve the county.
Okay.
We have, for instance, we've been down to Hope Mills, Chancellor. We did a couple distributions down there, which was very beneficial to help out and serve the community there. So we have, I don't want to mention anyone's names that I don't know the exact hours, but if you go to our website at hungercan'twait.org, you have a list of all the agencies in those particular areas and counties that we can go, and I can share it with you later who all that
I'm
is.
sorry, if you could speak up and say that a little bit longer. That's what I was going to get at for the listening audience. What's the website for them to find these locations for what area? Cumberland County is very, large, no doubt. So we want to make sure that they'll know where to go and how they can utilize this information if they're in need. Can you repeat the website, please?
Okay, I'm gonna do both of them because we're blessed to have two with, of course, with our parent organization with Action Pathways, actionpathways.ngo, You go there and that'll connect you to the food bank. If you want directly to the food bank, it's hungercan'twait.org.
Okay, thank you so much. And any last questions before we move on to our next guest? Manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a question. I just have a statement. I want to take this time to commend Brother Griffin for his hard work, dedication, and commitment to the citizens of these areas. As a member of the Action Pathways Board of Directors, we see it firsthand. When you find out that you're a lifeblood of these organizations depend on federal dollars and you're seeing these grant programs being cut, I actually invite anybody to come volunteer at a food distribution. It's very sobering when you're seeing your neighbors. It'll blow your mind who is pulling up to receive this food. Everyone that you've seen, every single food distribution that you've seen in Hope Mills has been facilitated directly through Mr. Griffin. He's helped me personally facilitate them all the way out in Robertson County. And so you went in some of these rural areas and you're seeing 500 cars pull up. These are your neighbors. These are your friends. And so we're not talking about someone on a corner with a sign. You're talking about people that we know that are in situations of food insecurity. And so I do know personally firsthand the amount of work that Second Harvest does do for these 7 surrounding counties, and that's a testament to Mr. Griffin. So I just wanted to acknowledge him today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Chairman Deviere.
Just a quick comment, if I could, Madam Chair. Just as a point of note, so this board recently, it's on our agenda tonight, but it's moved through unanimously. We've got a $1 million agricultural business policy that's impacting our local farmers. That's for assistance with them. Part of that discussion around that was local farm to table. So we understand that there's a gap that's happening at the federal level, and this is an opportunity to help our local farmers, supplement those dollars that were coming from the local purchasing, but also connect those programs back together in a very loose and in a way that local funds help that. So there is a mechanism that we created here in the last 30 days that will be approved tonight, hopefully connect some of those dollars back into from our farmers to our food banks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'm glad he mentioned that because I was going to get to that. For all of you listening farmers out there, you can, we do through the ARP committee, which I'm the chairwoman of that, we are pleased to say that the board has approved where you can apply for a $50,000 grant to see about helping you on your farms. As we thought this was imperative the same way we offered similar community impact grant for a nonprofit. So we're really excited, and I appreciate that, yes, the board, we understood the importance of this. Therefore, if you are a farmer and you are within the radius, you can find out more information through our corporate extension if you would like to apply for that grant, as it does take us working collaboratively together, which is why we wanted to make sure you came today and spoke, because it does take, a multitude of different things. So I'm glad the chairman did bring that up. And with that note, if there's not any more questions, is there any more questions before we move on? And again, thank you. And I do also want to thank the board members. We do have liaison. Glenn Adams, Chairman, Commissioner Adams is our liaison for the Action Pathways board, because we do understand, again, it takes a village for our community, and we do appreciate all of our board members that the county has collaboration with, and we do have liaisons, and Commissioner Adams is the one that sits on the Action Pathways to make sure that he keeps us informed, and we have to, that's important. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of working with other liaisons, and again, we've been very, as the chairman stated, when it comes to agriculture, and also as it states, I've heard a lot of times talk about rural areas, and we've been making an initiative to make sure we include those other rural areas as well as Wade and Eastover and Hope Mills and Spring Lake, just understanding that they too, you always hear about the bigger two, Fayetteville and Cumberland County, no doubt, which is significant and important, but again, a lot of people live in those rural areas. They shop here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County, they work here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County, so it's always about just that inclusion. So thank you so much, and a great presentation.
Thank you.
If there's no more questions, we will move on to our next guest. And our next guest will be that from the Cumberland County Juvenile Justice, we have with us the lovely Miss Courtney McClung. She is the director of the JCPC. She is here to share with you all the great things that the Juvenile Council Prevention Council, that they are providing for us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just have a brief presentation on what JCPC is, and I want to really talk about the programs that provide the services to our youth. So the purpose of JCPC, which we call Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, excuse me, is to provide a comprehensive strategy to help prevent and reduce juvenile crime and delinquency in our community. We work together to assess the needs of juveniles in Cumberland County, strengthen youth and families, promote delinquency prevention, support core social institutions, intervene immediately and effectively when delinquent behaviors occur, and ensure that appropriate intermediate options are available. So the JCPC membership is made up of our local school board, police, Fayetteville Police, Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, District Attorney. We also have a juvenile defense attorney as well, our chief district court judge. We have a member of the business community, our chief court counselor, someone from our local LMI, our director for DSS and also public health, county manager, a substance abuse professional, county commissioner, a member of a faith-based community, at-large members, local Parks and Rec, and a nonprofit organization. Most importantly, we have a person on the JCPC who is under the age of 21, someone that we're providing services to. We want to hear what their thoughts and needs and gaps are as well. So JCPC is responsible for providing funding for local programs, and the way in which we determine what those programs are going to be is that we have a committee that studies the risk factors and needs of our youth. Each year that committee comes back and says, these are the programs or these are the gaps to fill in that continuum of service. So our recent funding recommendations were based off parent-family skill building, interpersonal skill building, vocational skills, restitution community service, teen court, psychological assessments, home-based family counseling, individual, group, mixed counseling, and temporary shelter. So taking these funding recommendations, then we looked into our RFPs. JCPC puts out an RFP, request for proposal, each January of that year in order to start services for the next fiscal year. So currently our funded community programs were Group Theory, Build Yourself, Cumberland County Communicare, Teen Court, Fayetteville Police Department, which is their juvenile restitution program, Fayetteville Urban Ministries, and also SWAT. Just to note that Cumberland County received a total of $1.1 million to allocate through request for proposals. Additional funding is also provided by the county each year. So the good part of what's happening. So our programs provide services throughout the year for juveniles, but we wanted to put an emphasis on what they were doing this summer, because of course our youth are out of school, out of time. We want to highlight activities or events that some of our programs are offering. I have handouts. I know that may be a little small, but just wanted to highlight Build Yourself. They have multiple enrichment camps that are going on starting in June that have with math and ELA literacy, communication and financial literacy. They also have several leadership camps as well that work on community leadership. These are some of the events that they will be offering throughout the summer in which all youths can come and be a part of. Secondly, we have SWAT. They actually have a summer camp that is happening now. It started July the 2nd and ends August 1st, 8 to 4 p.m. Address, they're servicing individuals 5 to 12. Tutoring is available, weekly field trips, and lunch is provided. Have the handout for that as well. And lastly, a new program that will be starting FY26, which is in July, is a new component to JCPC that provides occupational skills training. So this is training for youth to do hands-on, get certifications in order to get a job or career. They have an open house coming up June 27th at 10 o'clock. Their address is 814 Hope Mills Road. They're really excited. We're excited for them because it's something new to JCPC, because not all kids want to go into that educational track. Some of them want to do skills training in order to get a certificate and enter into the workforce. This is our address, our phone number, and also our email address.
Ms. Courtney, can you say that out loud for the listening audience that
Of course.
might not can see the screen?
JCPC is located at 412 West Russell Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Our phone number is 910-437-1884, and you can email us at jcpc@cumberlandcountync.gov.
Thank you so much,
You're so
Ms.
welcome.
Courtney. And now we'll open the floor for questions and answers from the committee and then for other leaders that are here with us today. Any questions? Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Jensen?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Great job, great presentation, and thank you. I was just wondering if there was any way we could get this emailed, if the city council, each of us could get this slideshow emailed to us?
Yes, ma'am.
That would be great. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Any other questions from any questions? Again, thank you so much. I do have one question
Yes, ma'am.
for you. Yes, I was going to say, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Make sure that you email that to all the city council members as well, no doubt, to the county commissioners. But my other questions was this, your hours of operation for your, I see that it's up there, but what time is it open? Do people have to make an appointment to reach you all, or what's the situation?
No, ma'am. We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
And if you could just talk a little bit about, I do serve on the JCPC board, what the board members, what they're, just a little, you don't have to go into too much detail, but on the JCPC board, as you noted and put up here, on the different positions, but what their role is and how they play a big part of all of this working together. If you could just touch a little bit on that.
Yes, ma'am. So our JCPC members contribute a lot. So they are pretty much our moving platform. And so we have several committees, like I stated. We have our Risk and Needs Assessment Committee, which pretty much tries to figure out what those gaps of services are. We also have our Finance Committee that recommends to the council programs that we should fund through that year. They sit and listen to presentations, ask questions of those programs to make sure they're a good fit for the services that JCPC wants to provide or put out to the county. We also have our Public Awareness Committee that is charged with marketing our services of JCPC. So to go out and say, these programs provide this, how do you refer, how do we do intake for those individuals, and provide the contact information for our funded programs.
Thank you, Ms. Courtney. Again, it is a pleasure to serve on the JCPC, and as a member of the Public Awareness, this allowed me to be able to twofold to invite you and to do this as a member of that particular committee on that other side. So again, we thank you so much, and if there isn't any more questions, we will definitely go on to our next guest speaker. And now we will have our next guest speaker. She is from Mid-Carolina Regional Council. She is one of their directors, Jennifer MacArthur, and she will be discussing with us teen programs and teen employment program of what they are offering for our teens here in Cumberland County.
Good afternoon, how are you doing?
Good afternoon.
I'm Jennifer MacArthur, I work for Mid-Carolina Regional. In regards to the division I work for is the Workforce Division. Under Mid-Carolina, I am under the leadership of Samantha Wallenberger. That is the executive director for Mid-Carolina Regional Council, and she's the director for the Workforce Division. So I work for our Next Gen program. I oversee the compliance standpoint of the program and all the programmatic side of things for workforce development. For us, we have a 5-county region. Our 5 counties are Cumberland County, Harnett County, we have Sampson County, Moore, and Montgomery County. So of course, Cumberland County is our largest county. And with that, we have in each county, we have oversee the NC Works Career Center. At the Career Center, that's where we have our youth that are able to go in and meet with career advisors that are front-facing. Those career advisors work with the youth in regards to either job placement, if they're looking to explore occupational skills development, if they're looking for assistance with their resume building. In addition to that, if they're also looking for assistance where they're in the program and they have a barrier, they may have some transportation issues or things like that, we're able to also provide supportive services for those individuals. Our Career Center here in Cumberland County is located off of 490 North McPherson Church Road. It's the white building across the street from Chuck E. Cheese. So our career advisors are located on the second floor. So individuals don't have to have an appointment to be able to see a career advisor that's front facing. They just have to be able to go into the building, indicating they want to speak to somebody in our Next Gen program, and the Next Gen team will come down, talk to them about what programs we do offer them. Our programs are primarily focused throughout the year, so we don't just solely focus on the summer part of the program. Throughout the year, they're able to go over and talk to those career advisors, as well as career advisors are able to go out to our schools and talk to our CTA departments through the school system to work with youth in regards to development and career readiness and job readiness. This year, we're working, of course, this is our summertime. So for us, summer is a really big time for us when it comes to job placement assistance. Right now, we're in our third year of an initiative that we received from the city for the My Future So Bright program. This year, we're able actually to expand on that program, to also take that program and leverage the current resources that we do currently have in our program to be able to help more youth in the area that we're in now throughout the city. Not just the city, but also throughout the county. So this year, we're able to work with all 16 schools through our CT department with an initiative that is called District C, where we're able to take in 132 students within the first 3 weeks. We started last week. This is our second week, and we have another week coming up. We're doing 44 students each week where they're going in and they're receiving career readiness training through District C. They're able to be paid the entire time that they're there for the program. The first week they were there, it was for 4 days. So they were there from Monday through Thursday. Then this week they're there for 3 days. Next week they're there for 4 days. The schools that we have those events hosted at, last week we were at Pine Forest for 4 days. This week we're at Jack Britt for 3 days. So they'll be there starting today, tomorrow, and up till Wednesday is their last day. And then next week we'll be at Terry Stanford from Monday through Thursday. So the way that this program works is it actually allows students to receive career readiness development, but on a level that is for them to understand what it looks like. So it's completely different than anything we did before when it comes to career readiness development. It's called a pitch event. So what they have with District C, they have identified businesses that will like to work with them, and those businesses come in and they tell the students a problem that they may have. And then the students get together, they break out in teams, and as they're in teams, they work through the problem, the solution to find what the problem is for the person to resolve it. The business comes back and they pitch to the business on the last day of the program, and the business gives them real world advice and feedback on what if they could use that program or their solution for what their program is. In addition to that, we are also able to offer job placement to some of the youth that are in that program. So from that program, we're taking in and doing job placement for 60 individuals this year, just along with this initiative that we have. We're working with District C. We still have our same youth initiative we're doing with the city for the My Future So Bright program, as well as with our Title I funding. We'll have 25 participants that we're taking in that. So overall, we're helping this year about 85 participants that are going to job placement. Those job placements are throughout the county, not just in Fayetteville. We're working with primarily small businesses because we understand that a lot of small businesses need the help, but they don't have the resources. So we're able to pay for those participants to be placed there with the understanding that these are youth individuals. The ages that we work with is from 14 to 24. This year, because we are working with small businesses, we've also let them know that primarily, most people come in with 16 years old, but we want to be able to help those that are 14 years old as well. So businesses have been more open to receiving that help, because what we did a little bit different this year for job placement than in previous years, we've actually identified what those youth are interested in doing. So if they're interested in becoming a nurse, we're looking for doctor's office. If they're interested in becoming a psychology, we're looking for therapists. And we got a lot of positive feedback from businesses that are willing to receive those individuals this year. So the job placement that we're placing those individuals in is a lot more meaningful than us just placing it with anybody that needs the help, where it may be something where they're not going to really learn too much out of it or get something back. The good thing as well this year, through partnership, we've been able to support the school system, what they're doing with the ICON program, where individuals will be able to work at least 120 hours for them to be able to receive their CT credit hours through graduation. So this year we actually have been able to capitalize on that through partnership, and for us to be able to meet all 16 schools. So this year we do have representation in the program from all 16 schools throughout the county. So I do have some flyers, information to hand out to you. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have that. But that's all I had.
Thank you so much. Let me just say before I take quick questions, you did an excellent job. We appreciate receiving the information. And two things, if you could just state the website for individuals that are listening in our community. You did, again, like I said, you were your own PowerPoint, and it's great, and I can tell that you enjoy what you do from just being so proficient in understanding and explaining that. So give the website, please, if you could. Hours of operation again, then I will open it up for questions. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to give you two websites. The first website is if you're a business owner or a participant that's looking for assistance. That's going to be ncworks.gov. That website is ncworks.gov. That is for any person that is looking for job placement or any type of assistance, as well as for small businesses or any business that's looking to become registered with NCWorks. The second website is actually for Mid-Carolina. That website is mccog.gov. The hours of operation for Mid-Carolina is Monday through Friday from 8 to 5.
And they will be able to find information about these jobs and how they can apply and all of that.
To apply for jobs, you will utilize the ncworks.gov website. That's where you will find all the job placements. They're open as well, Monday through Friday. Their hours of operation are Monday through Thursday is 8 to 5, and on Fridays is 8 to 2.
Thank you so much. And at this time, I have questions. I do believe that I've seen Councilman Mario Bevenente. Do you have your hand up for a question or comment?
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Director McCollum, does Mid-Carolina, or excuse me, Director MacArthur, excuse me, does Mid-Carolina work on Job Corps as well, or is that a separate entity?
Job Corps is actually one of the partners that is able to operate out of the NCWorks Career Center. So that Career Center actually is partnering and open up to several different agencies that are able to have individuals to work out of it. So they are in partnership with Job Corps. I do know that with Job Corps, they're able to come and just utilize that facility at NCWorks.
Okay. And are they still functioning with y'all, or still working with y'all?
Yes, we're still working with Job Corps.
And when you talked about the 16 schools that y'all work with, is that high school specifically in Cumberland County?
Yes, we're working with high schoolers for 14, probably the 9th grade and up is those high schools.
And without me speaking to it, because I think it's very important that y'all are paying these young people, could you speak to why that's such an important factor for y'all to make sure that these young people that are participating are being paid?
Yeah. So for us, we understand that a lot of these students that we're working with have barriers. And some of those barriers are either they're pregnant or parenting, or they may be involved with the justice system, or they may be in a high poverty area that they're mapping in. So for some of these students, this is the first check they're ever going to have. This is the first time they're ever going to be paid. So for us, we understand that and want to offer them a comparable wage. So we're not paying them $7.25 an hour for them to come work for anybody. We're paying them a sustainable wage for them to be able to actually have an impact on their life. But also what we definitely do believe in with Mid-Carolina is financial literacy. So with all our programs that we place individuals in, they go through a financial literacy course because we understand that what we paying them, we don't want you to blow this money. We don't want them to blow the money. We want them to know what financial literacy looks like, for them to be able to utilize this, whether they're having to help support their family or they're having to buy school supplies for this upcoming school year, or some of the individuals are the first time they're actually receiving wages, but some of these kids are also supporting themselves independently. So they may be homeless, they may be in foster care. So for us, being able to pay them a wage that's sustainable, but also be able to make sure they are aware what education looks like when it comes to those paychecks. And a lot of them this year don't have checking accounts. And we have to figure out, okay, how do you want to get your check? We don't want you to have to come here to get a check. We don't have to mail it to you. So we have to meet them where they're at. A lot of them have Cash App. Well, Cash App is considered a bank for us because it has a check and a routing number. So we're meeting them where they're at to give them what they need when it comes to that. But also making them aware that there's a transition at some point when it gets to an actual banking institution.
Well, Director McCarthy, I agree with everything you said. I think in addition to that, unpaid internships, sometimes I think box out some opportunities for the kind of young people you're hoping to work with. Well, they'll have to decide fast food's going to pay, and maybe that's not going to get me necessarily career ready in an area, like you said, if they're interested in being in nursing or in otherwise. I think it helps kind of bridge that gap. So I'm glad that you guys are thinking about that. And certainly for these employers, I'm sure that they want to do their best, but if they're small businesses, it probably helps that it's not necessarily going to have an impact on their internal costs. I guess the very last thing is, I appreciate the young people that you're trying to reach. I know that this is the high school level, and so even for some that are a little bit older. Could you see in the future, Mid-Carolina, I can just imagine there's some middle school age folks that probably need a little bit more help to where once they get to high school, they can be candidates for this program. Because I'm sure this isn't, or rather, as you guys are working on people that are good for this program, they've got to be able to demonstrate, some level of competency when it comes to their ability to adhere to certain programs. And I guess I'm just thinking about if there is any sort of service gap there, where young people in high school could be taking advantage of this, had they maybe gotten some help in middle school to prepare them to take advantage of something like this. Has that ever been something you all discussed?
Yes, so we have our career advisors. So this year it's going to be a little bit different for our career advisors, where we're actually looking to be able to penetrate a little bit more in regards to what we offer, where we're actually going out and we're doing presentations throughout the schools. Of course, we do primarily focus on high school because that's the age we work with, but we're definitely not opposed to looking and seeing run a pilot for middle schools that we know that are Title I, and doing a presentation with them in regards to what services we offer, even if it's something where it's what is career readiness, and then talking about what career readiness looks like for them. We're definitely looking to be able to do that this upcoming year, because this new program year starts for us is July the 1st. So this will be a brand new program, brand new funding year that we're entering into. So with that, we're looking to also be able to expand how we're able to do outreach this year.
Yeah, I can just imagine like maybe some of our most at-risk young people at like Howard Learning Academy, that middle school age, if they knew that they had something to look forward to like this in high school, that it'd be something they'd want to prepare now to be good candidates to be considered for Icon or for My Future So Bright. So I think if there's ever an opportunity where you feel like Mid-Carolina would want to see some additional support to see how we can get, because I know you get 85 young people already, is that 85 because that's how many signed up? Could you sign up more if there were more eligible applicants? And, how can we grow that number? So that's something in the future that if there's an opportunity to discuss more, let us know.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you. I'm going to let you finish that one question, and then we just have time for one more question.
Okay.
Excellent dialogue. So you can answer his question, please, and then we just have time for one more question, because I do want to be great information, but I have to be very mindful of time and everything. So
just to answer your question, this year for 85, that really was us being able to leverage our current resources that we have, because normally we are only taking in 25 participants at the most. So this year, this is where we're able to take, because we leverage more resources that we have. So if resources do come up, we can always expand.
Thank you so much. And then we do have time for one more question. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I really didn't have a question. I wanted to thank you for the work that you do. I do serve on the board for Mid-Carolina, so I've kind of seen the program go from here to here, and y'all are doing an exceptional job. For the listening audience, my future's so bright. You do a tremendous job. We were there last year, and you were packed out in the room. It was standing room only. So, fun fact, I am an employer. This year, I'm getting 2 of your students, and I'm very excited. We met our first one. And I will tell you, you are literally changing lives, because the moment that student walked in the door was a ball of nerves. She came in the second time, and you could see the difference, and she started seeing the young girls that work there already, taking her in. Her cheeks are less red, she's not shaking as much, and she's taking control. So I really want you to know you are changing lives in just 2 days, and her first day is Wednesday. So we look forward to it. So thank you for your great work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jennifer MacArthur. And if you've got some cards, if you could please leave those, that way other individuals here, they might want to share that with their agencies. We thank you. And one more input, comment, or question from our chairman before we move on.
Thank you.
Chairman Deviere.
I'll be quick, just so the county has some input. I just asked for an action to come out of this, that we look at the ICON program, our internal Ignite program, as well as NC Works. They're all doing around the same thing. We need to look at collaborative ways that we can pool those resources and maybe reach additional people. So an action item that I'd request, Madam Chair, to come out of this is that we look at those 3 programs and how they can maybe they could work together from a resource standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you. And we can definitely be in agreement to that. Do we want to ask our staff to move direction to, at this time, for the staff, the county staff, to give direction to look into that for future ways we can collaborate? Manager Greer, thank you so much. And now we will continue on with our agenda. Are there any other items of business? We are on.
I have one.
Okay. Item of business from Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So about 2 weeks ago in our work session at the city, we had a presentation done with a pallet village. We have a council member that has worked very hard on that. And we took a consensus vote that we would like to bring this for presentation, have the presentation at the city-county liaison meeting, if you were agreeable to that.
Thank you. I'm glad that you brought that up. That was actually on my next step. We've decided that, I did send out an email. I guess it hasn't been sent out to you all yet, though. But we did decide that at the next meeting on August 18th, that will be all about housing. And so that is the appropriate time. We did receive the information, but we felt that since we are having a special meeting for unhoused today, we want to make sure everything's collaborated in uniform. Therefore, we felt it would be more appropriate to discuss that at the same time that we discuss our unhoused on the county. So that is what I was going to announce on the August 18th meeting at 12 o'clock. That is what we will be discussing at that time, all matters that have to do with housing, unhoused for the county, as well as your program as well. And we do appreciate it. We did receive the information, and I just want to stay in alignment to keep everything collaborative together. So that's why that's going to be on the August 18th meeting. So thank you for bringing that up. You're welcome. We appreciate it. So are there any other items of business? If there are no items of business at this time, as I stated, our next meeting, which is going to be Monday, August 18th, in this same very room, here at the Courthouse, 564, 12 o'clock, and it will be that of speaking on housing. We, at that time, will share updates for the unhoused project and information about overall housing from the county side of things, as well as Mayor Pro Tem Jensen stated, the information that we've been provided from them. So I know that we look forward to seeing you all at that time. At August 18th, that meeting will be all about housing. And at this time, I will ask for a call for a motion to be adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Second on that?
Second.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.